hasn't actually presented before, what I'd like to do is give a huge round of applause and welcome Mr. David Bannister!
The presentation is on the comic 2000 AD, which has been controlling my life for the last 34 years, collecting it, and I'm sure we're going to illustrate tonight how it's been affecting your lives as well. These are the creators of 2000 AD, artist Carlos Esquara and the rest of the writers. My first edition of 2000 AD I bought back in 1979, and that's me in 1979. That's the first comic with a very bad pun that you can't quite read on here, and that is Wigan, where this conspiracy theory all began. That is my son on his birthday, and in the bottom corner is a collection of 2000 AD comics and anthology. That forced me to reread these comics with my son. He was interested. He's called Barney, and I discovered that the computer in Judge Dredd was called Barney. I remember that. But 2000 is up front about running your lives. As Stark, who is the editor of 2000 AD, this alien, he says he brings you the future, and I will show you that he has done that. Up there again in writing you can't read is, I'll leave that. This is Judge Dredd, the main character in 2000, the most famous one, and what will appear in a second is a US police officer in the Occupy Portland riot from last year. All these people here are 2000 AD readers. Because they read 2000 AD, that has influenced their ideas, and because they're all fairly important people, they have influenced your lives. Those blokes at the bottom, right there, left, are the US military, big readers. Now, this is a story called Invasion from 1977. If you read it carefully, it predicts the Channel Tunnel, which opens in 2002. They were out by a bit. Margaret Thatcher obviously read this, okayed it, must have read it in 2000 AD. Here is the computer that helps Judge Dredd analyse his crimes. Notice the name, Mac. 1977, Steve Jobs started marketing the Mac in 1981. Obviously, 2000 AD reader. This is the weather control station that floats above the city that Judge Dredd is the policeman of. The US military liked the idea and have been researching this HARP project for controlling tornadoes since. They made rain fall in Abu Dhabi in 2010 with artificial. This is a smokatorium because smoking was banned in Mega City 1. In 1977, who would have thought smoking would be banned? Patricia Hewitt and Tony Blair, big 2000 AD readers, because they both proposed smoking, it would still be allowed in rooms. This is an illustration of the page. The lawgiver, the gun that he's about to fire, blows up in his hands because it's not tied to his fingerprint. The lawgiver, the gun only works for the genetic fingerprints of the judge who fires it. Jeremy Clarkson proposed that in the programme 2001 to stop US crime. Sonic cannons to disrupt riots and spread apart riots. US military paid for the funding. Those are sonic cannons that are on the River Thames in 2012 in case there were riots in the Olympics. Organised by those three people, 2000 AD readers. Riot formed to halt people in their tracks and stop them rioting. These pictures came onto the internet of people developing riot phones funded by the US military. Big 2000 AD. This Mega City 1 had a nuclear attack on it, and you can see the words there say laser mesh to stop the nuclear missiles getting through to the city. That was in 1982. In 1983, Ronald Reagan did his Star Wars speech to stop the missiles from North Korea. This one, in 1978, the buildings there that get blown up in the next picture is the World Trade Center. That man there, Abdul Rahman, was the leader of the plot, 1993, obviously read it in 2000 AD when he was younger. This one is the Grand Hall of Justice, which is hit by a flying spaceship organised by a terrorist judge called Judge Grice. Osama bin Laden, 2000 AD reader. But it's not all doom and gloom. Judge Dredd did have in 1983 the duty of guarding the first orangutan mayor of Mega City 1, Dave the orangutan. In 2002, Hartlepool elected a monkey as its mayor. Food, how do you feed all these millions of people in the future? Synthy sausage. This is a protein that you can make and have the flavour of anything. Corn, it the shelves in 1994. That was in 1983. The obesity problem, which is in the news quite a lot, predicted by 2000 AD there. This is in after the apocalypse war, shortage of food. Judge Dredd had to prevent the food riots, had to lock people up until they lost weight and hit a certain weight, inspiring a programme in the 2000s. And finally, when we reread 2000 we had the biggest shock. Unfortunately, you can't quite read it up there, but the character in this one-off story called The Time Twister is David Bannister, which was very freaky. He's a writer who comes to a bad end, and that made me never become a writer.